Dad was laughing so hard he had tears in his eyes. $20. That's what Grandpa left me. The lawyer slid the bill across the polished table like it was an apology. Dad slapped his knee, still laughing, already drunk on inheritance and relief. My aunt shook her head in pity. Someone muttered, "Guess he wasn't the favorite." I stared at the bill, old, crisp, untouched, and then I saw it. The serial number was circled in red ink. Careful, deliberate, no tremor in the line. Grandpa had been an accountant for 53 years. Numbers weren't decoration, they were language. I folded the bill once, put it in my pocket, said nothing. That's how I've always survived betrayal, by staying quiet long enough to hear what others miss. Grandpa raised me after my mother left, and my father learned how to disappear without moving. He taught me balance sheets before bedtime stories, taught me that every number tells two stories, what it claims to be and what it's hiding. Dad hated that about him, hated that Grandpa never trusted him with money, never trusted him with power, never trusted him with me. When Grandpa got sick, Dad suddenly showed up, loud, helpful, smiling too much. He handled the paperwork, the accounts, the estate. I noticed the shift early, bank visits without explanation, documents he wouldn't leave unattended. Grandpa growing quieter, watching Dad the way auditors watch lies. The day before Grandpa died, he asked me for a pen. "Check your pockets when it's over," he whispered. Then he smiled, the kind of smile you wear when the trap is already set. After the funeral, Dad celebrated like he'd won a war. New watch, new car, stories about how he was finally appreciated. I didn't confront him. I didn't ask questions. I drove to Grandpa's old bank. The building smelled like paper and time. I waited my turn. When the manager called me forward, I placed the $20 bill on the counter. "I'd like to say the number," I said. He frowned. "The serial number?" I nodded. I said it out loud, every digit. The color drained from his face. He didn't ask me to repeat it. He didn't ask for ID. He stood up so fast his chair tipped back. "I need to make a call," he said. "Please sit." I didn't sit. He came back with a folder so thick it looked painful to carry. "That number," he said carefully, "corresponds to an internal reference code your grandfather registered, a contingency." I waited. "It authorizes the release of documents in the event of estate tampering." My father's name was on the first page, so was the word fraud. I didn't cry. I didn't feel surprised, just calm, clean, certain. Dad had moved money from dormant accounts into shell investments under his name. He'd forged signatures, adjusted ledgers, assumed no one would notice because the man who counted everything was dying. Grandpa noticed, and he left me the key. For weeks, I did nothing. I let Dad brag, let him spend, let him sink deeper into the illusion that he'd won. I consulted quietly, lawyers, forensic accountants, old colleagues of Grandpa's who still respected his handwriting. We built a timeline, clean, precise, unarguable. I filed nothing until Dad leveraged the stolen money to buy out his business partner. That's when I moved. The charges didn't come first, the audits did. Banks froze accounts, investors called. His partner sued. The IRS followed like gravity. Dad called me one night, voice shaking for the first time in my life. "You know anything about this?" he asked. I looked at the $20 bill, now framed on my desk. "I do," I said, "but you never liked my inheritance, remember?" He showed up at my door 3 days later, smaller, older, the laughter gone. We sat across from each other in silence. "I was going to fix it," he said. "Eventually." I leaned forward. "Grandpa knew you'd say that." I slid the folder across the table. Every signature, every transfer, every lie. His hands trembled as he turned the pages. "This was supposed to be mine," he whispered. I stood. "He found out who took his place," I said, "and he made sure I did too." Dad lost everything that mattered to him: reputation, control, freedom. I didn't testify with anger. I testified with numbers. They listened. They always do. Now, when I think about that day in the lawyer's office, about the laughter and the pity, I don't feel bitterness. I feel respect for a man who knew his enemy, for a lesson written in ink and patience, for a revenge that didn't shout. It waited, just like I did.